Reporting to you live from the belly of the beast.
It's been a year since this rolled down our road, and today we're going to talk about all the things we've learned over the last year. It's been an adventure, y'all come along. Before we start that adventure, as usual, we have chapters. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. But if you don't hear anything else that I have to say, which is fine, you don't have time to watch this whole video, you just were casually scrolling, whatever. Hit the like button and scroll to the end because I have something very, 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 very important to say. Let's just start out with this. I'm crazy. This is a huge project. There is so much to do on this bus. To convert it, it's not easy, and there's always more than meets the eye. Just take this tire, for instance. Get the bus home and realize I got to buy a tire. That tire, $530. Yeah, the tire was $300, but putting it on, another $200. Let's go underneath here. Let's get back under here, and I'm going to show you all the things I've learned mechanically and the things I'm still learning. This may be some very janky footage, but that's okay. I just want to share with y'all some of the things we've learned, and one of the things we've learned is getting back here underneath the belly of the beast is, man, pretty difficult. I had to replace that fuel line. That's a return fuel line for the diesel cooler. And it was interesting because I'm the only one that can fit in this little hole that I'm in right now, between the transmission and basically where the frame is. And so all of this is down here. Actually, one other thing that I learned is it takes 24 gallons of coolant. That's why I carry water. You probably heard that in another video. That way, if I ever blow out a radiator hose like I did with my son one night, I can actually get to the house. Show y'all some of this crazy stuff that's underneath this bus, just because some of y'all want to know. All right. Like I said, maybe some janky footage. That's all right, because I'm basically between a transmission and a frame right now to bring y'all the good stuff. Tell you one thing I've learned is that darn fitting is being aggravating because it won't stop leaking. All right, there's kind of the outside footage of the motor and all that. Learned a whole lot. One thing I've learned is how to put a idle tensioner pulley on. We also had a breakdown, luckily at the end of our road. See that nice, pretty, let's see if we can get it to zoom in here, that pretty blue little boot right there, that transmission cooler. It blew it out, and I'll show y'all. Come on, focus. 24 US gallons is what that takes. I've also changed out the oil. Anybody want to take a stab at how many gallons that takes? Let's go with 10. 10 gallons. You know, I'm mostly here for entertainment purposes, I think, really. Just, I get a video idea, and I think it's going to be a great video idea, and here I am underneath the bus. Oh, geez. Yeah. Let me show you what I've learned. So one thing I did, there's bushings in there, and kind of going back to the video, one of the videos where I talked about how when you're buying a coach that there's a better picture of the bushings. You may want to go with somebody, if you don't know coaches, go with somebody that actually knows. And those bushings were totally shot. Had to replace those. He's like, hey, there's a clanking in the front end, don't know what it is. Well, heck, that whole arm right there had no bushing. There you go. Anyway, I don't know what's up with all the spiders, but as y'all can kind of see, if I can get the video to focus. Little spider. A lot going on down here. I'll show you all. So there's this leveling valve up here. I have replaced it see if I can get a decent little footage of that. I've replaced that fella, and man, y'all see all the airlines. You got tanks. There's just a lot. There's a lot to this coach. And that's one thing I've learned. There's a lot. I'm gonna show y'all. I'm covered in grease now, by the way. No more pretty Johnny. Look at all the airlines. Some of it's spider webs. Some of it is air over electric, so you've got electric solenoids and stuff like that going along with it too. Just getting under the bus, so much fun. All right, I'm fully committed now. Sitting up underneath here in front of the drive axle. Oh, guys, there's so much to learn, so much to do. One thing I was going to say is maintenance, man. Just staying on top of things. So crucial. So one thing I had to do that I learned, see how bright and shiny that is. I learned that I can't do that. And the reason why is that will kill you if you don't do it right. So that's a brake chamber, air chamber. You see them on the back of semis. And air goes in that. There's a big old spring, and if you don't do it right, you can really hurt yourself. So that's one thing I learned. You know what I learned? Everything that takes fluid on this bus takes a lot of it. Even that differential. Sorry, there's my finger. That differential takes gallons of differential fluid. I can tell you this, if you don't like getting dirty, don't buy a bus. I just got showered from the wet tank. I think mainly because when we're running the air compressor up front, it's filling that tank regardless. Dirty job. All right, now that I'm cleaned up and out from underneath the bus, which is, like I said, always fun, let's talk about a couple things. One, just because you find a campground that has sites big enough for that guy does not mean that the roads and all the entrances and the turns and all that's going to work out. That's one thing I've learned, that just because the sites are big rig friendly does not necessarily mean the roads are big rig friendly. That's why I'm doing Gus's big rig review. That way y'all can see the roads and you can see the pull-ins and all so on and so forth. And furthermore, see how blue skies just wide open, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Well, all the roads that Apple Maps takes you down are not always open and beautiful. They may be a little pig trail, like I got stuck in Tennessee. Followed the map, got on the road, realized that this is not a road I'm supposed to be on. I should be on. So big rig GPS, stuff like that, very helpful. Either that or just knowing the roads. Got stuck on that road, scared the crap out of an Amish family. I popped the corner. There she was, her and her kids. She was like, oh, like she saw an alien. It was kind of funny in hindsight. Not so funny in the moment. Realized, like I said, shouldn't have been down that road. So Apple Maps will lie to you. So make sure you know where you're going. I did mention to like and subscribe, right? One thing we've learned, free stuff is good. We got these cabinets and all this accent wood for free. And another thing, don't throw stuff away because you can always use parts and pieces, whether it be a piano hinge, little trap doors, screws, bolts, save it all. One thing I've learned is what all of these buttons, all these controls do. One thing we love / learned, set up and tear down on this versus the camper, just night and day difference. So much easier to set up and tear down the bus. One thing we've learned, travel is way easier in the bus. Kids don't get wore out. Dad doesn't get wore out. Just a much better experience. Another thing we've learned is fuel mileage is a myth. Absolute myth. You are going to spend money on fuel. Just go ahead and plan on it. And you're going to spend more than what you think. But you will offset that with campsites. So let's talk about before and after and what we've learned on like fuel costs versus camping versus Airbnb. It would cost us about $1,000, $1,200 ish to go and get an Airbnb to do that whole thing. Even with spending a just crazy ton on fuel, like about $500 with campsites, so on and so forth, we're going to save, or we save, excuse me, between $200 and $300 per trip right now. Now that cost is kind of break even actually between the two because of we don't have our towed set up, which I'm sure will be another video later on in life. Putting a hitch on here, getting the towed set up, tow dolly, so on and so forth. But right now, if we had a towed, we would save about about $300 per trip. So if you can stay at a state park, I'm going to list a couple. Barren River, Bailey's Point. We haven't got to stay in, but my aunt has. It's beautiful. State parks are the win. I mean, around here, Blackwater's like $25, $30 a night. Super cheap camping. So despite the fuel cost, it can offset and actually save you a little bit, especially once you talk about cooking your own meals, having your own kitchen, all the things like that. So super big win on that. Which leads me to my final point. It's worth it. And if you've stuck around and watched this whole video, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you've skipped through and this is what you've came to, thank you. Hit the like button. I appreciate it. But let me say this, whether it's that house or the bus, taking time and doing things that you can spend with your family is absolutely worth it. A lot of people could look at, whether this house or this bus, and, you don't know what people go through. You don't know where people came from. You don't know anything about them. So slow down on the judgment and just pray. And I want to say that, people may look at this video and look at these bus videos and be like, well, he's just flexing because he has a bus. I don't care. I don't care that I have this house. I don't care that I have this bus. Vanity, vanity, right? Says the preacher. Like, it doesn't matter. None of this matters. If my family's not intact and my faith is not intact, it doesn't matter. So let me just lay it out there for you. It is faith, God, in faith in Jesus. I'm going to cut to the chase. Faith in Jesus and family. For me, those are my two pillars. Those are the two things that life hinges on. Country's in there too. We live in a free country, live in America. It's an amazing country. But I can tell you right now, nothing matters if you don't know Jesus. Like, that's the point, guys. I drew you to this end of this video just because I wanted you to know, like, I do the bus videos because they're fun, because it's fun. I enjoy spending time with my family. That's the point. But there is a greater point, and that is faith in Jesus. And if you don't know that, if you don't know Jesus, if you don't know peace, anything like that, I put my email, comment. What can we pray with you? Like, that's the point of this. Yeah, I'm going to help you with bus stuff, bus ideas and things that we've learned and so on and so forth. But I'm actually here for you for a bigger purpose. So comment, let me know what you're struggling with. Let me know what's going on. How can we pray with you? Man, we believe that the Lord will touch you. The Lord will absolutely meet you where you are. Comment. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for hearing me out. And until next time, God bless you.